Volunteers are integral to basically every single one of these programs. Last year, even when volunteers were not coming to campus or visiting clients in the community, they were still supporting MPTN in force with over 32,000 hours of service. This past year was enlightening for people of all ages to understand how detrimental social isolation can be, a plague that we typically associate with older people. But now even our youngest volunteers know how important social connectivity is. And that's what we do at MPTF. We make sure that everybody is integrated, no matter what age they are. Our volunteer program has volunteers from 14 to 110. And during the Instant Film Festival, we even have younger volunteers who are helping us, and with events as well. We really like to have that shared space experience where different generations can benefit from each other. Some of the ways that you can help is make calls to industry members in the community through Daily Call Sheet, which you'll be hearing about later today. You can write birthday cards and holiday cards to residents that live on our Woodland Hills campus. You can deliver groceries to those in need. And now that we're starting to bring activities back to campus, there are more ways to be involved. And you can even volunteer with MPTF studios like today with the Instant Film Festival. I urge you to go to mptf.com/volunteering to learn more about what we do, how you can help, and how to apply to be part of the MPTF volunteer team. And remember, please, as Jeffrey Katzenberg said in that last video, that for our 100th year, we're asking for 100% participation, not only from every industry member, but from anyone who benefits from the hard work and dedication of industry workers who bring you all the TV shows and all of the movies that have entertained and informed you through the years. The volunteers are like family to the residents who live on campus, and we really consider that to be a huge benefit to the ethos that happens on campus. Everybody speaks the same language, which makes volunteering at MPTF a little bit different than volunteering anywhere else. Everybody is connected to everybody else. So please join us, and thank you, and enjoy the rest of the film festival. Thank you, Jen.
Fredda, don't go away. Do you have a couple more minutes?
Of course.
Excellent. Because your story is also fascinating. And I think that your connection to MPTF is something worthy of a couple of minutes to let people know that you're not just you individually, but in general, your connections around this town, no doubt get you into the community that we support and to be part of that supportive community.
Sure. How deep do you want me to go?
Oh, go as deep as you would like to.
All right. So I was first introduced to MPTF through my mother-in-law, Doris Fredda Johnson, who was an ingenue. She was scouted by Fox in the 30s. She came to Hollywood, met and married my father-in-law, who is a screenwriter, Nunnally Johnson. Nunnally was an early donor to MPTF, and throughout the years, my mother-in-law volunteered. She volunteered for the Screen Smart Set and took me to fashion shows that supported MPTF. And I started to learn more and more about the extraordinary things that the organization did. At some point, towards the end of her life, she moved on to campus, and I got to know the way things worked in a much more intimate way. I fell in love with what happened in our skilled nursing area. And after she passed, I couldn't leave. This is where I start getting emotional about it. The people in long-term care are true angels from heaven. And what they do to care for people is truly an amazing calling. So I started to volunteer. This was probably in 2005, 2006. And I got very involved and fell again more and more in love with what was going on and realized we had some different volunteer programs around the community and on campus. And I thought long and hard about how to bring everyone together under one umbrella and brought that to Bob Beecher, who totally supported it. I was hired in 2016, so this will now be my 5th year as an actual employee, which gives me the advantage of seeing the volunteer program and the organization through the eyes of a volunteer, a family member, and a staff member, and actually also as an industry worker, because for years I did work in the industry at ABC, at EMI TV, and various other places in development. So I feel like I have this really holistic view on how to engage people, how to bring purpose into their lives, and especially younger volunteers who are benefiting from the knowledge and the skills that our retirees have on campus that's so valuable, that they reciprocate in a way, because especially at Channel 22 or the media studio, the younger volunteers are able to share their skills and technology with our residents. And that kind of engagement of the mind and learning new things is so helpful to well-being. So it's really a wonderful program. And when people ask me what I do, and I think this might have been what Jen was alluding to, is I really call myself a dot connector, because from the people that I know through working in the industry, through family, and just from basically growing up within the industry, kind of remember who knows whom, who is married to whom, who you don't want to put with whom, and we get it all done. It's really helpful this year because for our 100th anniversary, for instance, we're going to be doing an auction, and Courtney Bailey will be on later, who's our Chief Development Officer, to talk about the auction, but I'll give you a little preview. If you have been involved with any production and have, own, or know how to get any kind of iconic item that was used in a film, we would love to have that for our auction. We're partnering with Christie's. The auction will be probably late October, early November. And we're hoping to raise many millions of dollars. So any way you want to help us with that, it would be great. And I see that Louis, who's our Director of Development, is on the call now, and I'm sure that he can also speak to this. So I hope I covered what you wanted me to cover. And if anybody wants to talk further about it, I am always available. My extension is 1508. Oh, yeah. And I can just keep talking about volunteering and MPTF until you turn me off or take out my batteries.
That's one of the reasons that you're so good at it. Fantastic. So here's what I would ask then. Louis, we just showed the brand new trailer for the MPTF 100th anniversary, and Fredda invoked your name, and there you were.
Right.
Because of all of the great things happening around the 100th. Let's talk for a moment about that before we transition over to Next Gen, because we've got Monica Macer, who's one of the board members, joining us in just a moment. But it's a nice way to transition, to have you guys talk about other up and coming things, to tease it for Courtney. Courtney will be here at 11:30 to tell us more about the 100th.
Well,
Right,
it's
okay.
great. And Louis and I are working really closely on this auction. So I'm going to let you tell more. And the exciting
Well, it's funny
things.
because I just signed on to make sure everything was working. So,
It
so I
is.
got to hear you mention my name and I was like, oh, I was like, go Fredda, mentioned the auction. Thank you. Fredda has found really great stuff just on our campus alone, stuff signed by Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley. Very cool. So those are the types of things that we're looking for our Christie's auction.
Well,
One of a kind, iconic stuff.
I can add to that. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Monica.
So Monica, hang out for just a second because we're wrapping up about the auction for the 100th. And I don't know that everybody here knows this. I think maybe a couple of you do. A few years ago, a volunteer gifted us a desk that was a prop in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And I think for sure that's one of the things that should be added to the Christie's auction.
We would
Jen, we
love
had our
that.
eye on that, so I'm so glad.
Yes, Louis already photographed it. And to that, I'd like to thank the volunteers who have come to us with some really fantastic auction items. You never know where you're going to find something, but since our volunteers do come from the industry, they have been on film sets, they've produced, they've run studios. They're the ones that we've been turning to. And before I leave, I also want to thank the Next Gen volunteers who are doing a great job supporting our community. They've also been really involved with Angel Cards, which is what I talked about earlier. And thank you. I hope you guys continue with that because filling mailboxes with cards is so impactful. And everybody is decorating cards and writing all these chatty messages. And it's just, as my people say, it's a mitzvah. So thank you very much. And I'm going to go now.
Well, I also want to say Next Gen volunteers have been showing up once a month for Creative Chaos, and they've been killing each other, which doesn't seem very helpful. But the truth is, Jodie Foster last year came on for Celebrity Password, which there's another Celebrity Password available for you in the Bidding for Good auction right now. But after her round of Celebrity Password, she said, this was fun. But you know what's more fun? Killing people. We introduced the game of Mafia to Creative Chaos and hosted a number of Mafia games. And the Next Gen members who got to play with us were like, we're going to do this every month. Nothing is better than killing one another and having residents kill us.
Well, after a year of being at home, what else, and this crazy year, what else do you want to do but kill somebody? Safely on Mafia.